So I'm having a problem with the automatic climate control system on this car. This is the C215. It's a CL55 AMG 2005, but this does affect several other models within that year range. What's happening is it doesn't matter what temperature I set either one of these controls to, I get nothing but a ton of hot air coming out of the vents. It's just all hot. So I'm cooking no matter what I do, unless I set it to low. If I set it to low, I get cold air out of the vents. Anything else, I get nothing but hot air. So let's see if we can figure out what's going on with this. So I did a little reading on the problem, and it can be one of two things. It can be the heater control valves. There's two valves, one for left and one for right side of the vehicle's interior compartment, dual climate control zone, that can fail open or closed. In my case, it will be open because I'm getting heat all the time. So it could be those, or it could be an interior temperature sensor. So let me show you guys the valves under the hood. So under the hood on my car, on the driver's side, down in there is a circulation pump, the tall cylinder, and two shorter cylinders here for the left and right compartment heating. Those are two valves electrically actuated here. There's a heater, there's a hot coolant line coming in, and then two lines coming out for the two heat exchangers inside the cabin. So whichever one wants more heat, it just opens up. So if those are stuck open, obviously you get nothing but heat. Or if you get no heat, they could be stuck closed. Apparently that's quite a common problem. I hope that's not my problem, because those are obviously not that accessible unless you take a bunch of stuff apart here on at the cowl. So I'm going to chase down the temperature sensors first, because I should be able to hook a scan tool up and it'll tell me what's going on, hopefully. Okay, so for diagnostics here, we can go into the live data first. This is the air conditioning unit, the automatic climate control system, temperature sensor. We can see some real values in everything except this one. Overhead control panel N70b1 in-car temperature sensor showing 0. Refrigerant pressure is working. Refrigerant temperature is working. So we can actually go into active tests also. The dual valves that we were talking about earlier, the two valves, and engine must be off, coolant temperature greater than 60, switch on blower, stage 2 or 3, we're on 3, open center air outlet, which we do have, and the pump and the blower actuated by the tools. So okay, so now both valves are at 0% open, and here's our corresponding temperatures. And they're dropping it now because it's just closed them and turned the blower on, so we can see them dropping. But if we open the left dual valve, which is function 3, it's just gone to 100%. Now we should see the left temperature climb. And we do. Let's close that one. We'll open the right one. And we can see the right side climb. So we know the dual valves are fine. They're not stuck. Now let's go into the overhead control panel. So that N70b1 sensor, that is actually a sensor coming from the overhead control panel. And if it, measurement values not within range for the temperature sensor, that's the fault. So if we get the live data, interior air temperature sensor, it's railed at 63.75 degrees. So flatlined. So I think what happens is when this thing fails, it feels high. It opens up, the wire opens. That's the way a thermistor works. And what happens if this has a faulted value, it's going to just say no, 0 to the other control system, so that the air conditioning system doesn't come on full blast. Instead, the heat will come on, which you can just turn that off, but you don't want the AC cranking. So these codes will not reset. Is there any active tests in here? Oh, you can turn dome lights on and stuff, but no, that's about it. So this is the overhead console where the problem is. So we'll have to open that. I did in my reading discover that the climate control system actually has a test function in it as well. So if you hold the rest button down, there we go, that puts you into a test mode. So NR0 is the sensor here in the climate control system. It's reading 29 degrees. If we click this button to the next sensor, this one, NR1, that is the overhead console one, and it's reading 0 degrees, which we did see in the scan tool. But if you don't have a scan tool, you go in here, you see 0 there, the problem is up in the upper console. This one is here. So it looks like we're going to be going into this console. All right. So first we're going to get these clear lenses off here. They should just pop off. Should. But maybe they won't. There we go. So there's just 4 tabs. It doesn't matter where you start. Just gotta work them off. And then there are 4 clips here. It looks like that we gotta release and pull this down. So I've got a pick tool, but I wonder if I can just use the same tool here actually. I could if I had to. Try this. She's going. She's coming. Okay, so these are just clips there like this that you got to release. Oh, we got a Q4 sticker. And another sticker. Oh, a leaf. Bye-bye. So here's what the clips look like. And now we've got to release some connectors here. So these are the type that you gotta push the release down and then fold this handle down. So if I'm gonna be able to do this without using two hands, but push down the clip and pull back on the lever. There we go. There's a little clip. Seems to have a rubber band in here. I'm not sure why. So the other two connectors just pull straight out. And then unwind the cables. And here we go. Let's go take this to the bench. Hey, so we've just got a bunch of E10 Torx here. Gotta remove. Oh, these bulbs need to come out. Might as well check the bulbs while you're in here too. Mine appear to be good. And then the board can drop down. And here's our culprit. The little thermistor lives inside this cover for the fan. And I believe the little thermistor runs down to these two terminals down below. Let's see if we have any resistance down here. Open circuit, which we probably estimated we would have because ours is blown. But that's the little thermistor element inside there. You can just see it right here. There's the little thermistor. Right there's the little thermistor wiggling. Let's get inside this thing. I wonder if we can just pop this cover off. Oh boy. Yes, so you can test it that way. If you have access to E2 terminals, check those for, you should have some resistance there. 10K at 25 degrees, I believe, is the spec for these sensors, and I've got nothing on mine because it's rotted right through. Here's the sensor here. They attach it to this housing here, and the leads are just rusted right off on it. There's nothing. They're just corroded right away to nothing. I mean, they're just disintegrating in my hands. So, yeah. I suspect it's because of a few things. Probably moisture getting in there and rusting them away, in combination with vibration from this fan, and it just kills them. Let's see if we can get this thing out of here and see what it measures. Oh, it's just falling apart as I touch it. So we've got 12.78 K. These are a slightly different kind. They're encased in glass and they have a little bit bigger leads, so they should be more robust. .66K. So the thing about a thermistor is they change resistance wildly based on temperature, so I'm thinking we should probably be alright there. Let's just check here. 12.6, but if I warm this up at all with my finger even, you can see how much is changing. I'm at 11.6 already, okay, just from my finger. So I think we're going to be okay there. Okay, I've got the fan and the housing blown off with some compressed air, nice and clean. I'm just trying to see where we could solder this in place and not have it collide with this fan. I think, you know, we might just leave this on the outside. Meaning somewhere here, because as long as it's in the airflow of the fan, whether or not it's on the inlet side or the outlet of the fan, it doesn't matter, as long as it's in the airflow. So we can mount this right here. So apply a little fresh solder onto these 2 points on the fan. And on the leads of our thermistor. And let's solder them into place. Snap the cover back on, and we'll just bend them up against the case. That should do it. So if you happen to lose this little cover like I did, it just pops in right there. And replace all 9 screws. Okay, let's pop this back into the car, hook up just the connectors, and we'll see if this all works. All right. temperature's in place. Okay, we have lights. Let's turn the key on. Sunroof works. Map pockets work. Interior light comes on, so we're good. So, I can hear the fan whirring away in there. So let's go back into our diagnosis on the climate control unit. So hold down rest. First reading is NR0, which is this. Next reading should be our sensor up top. Oops, sorry, went the wrong way. 21.2. 18.6 on this one. 21.2. We are higher up in the car though, and this was just all outside on the bench where it's a little bit warmer. So I like it. See if we can make it go up higher by blowing into it. Yep. No, so it's reading. Normalized is pretty quick though with the fan blowing air through it, so I believe we're fine. I'm going to go into the scan tool and see if we see the same thing in there. See if there's any errors we got to clear out. So we're back in my favorite Uxcell scan tool. Interior temperature now reads 21.25. And this is in the overhead console. And any codes? So there is a stored code for the temperature. And if we go into the air conditioning unit, N70b1, 21 degrees. Remember we had a 0 in there before. No found codes. Interesting. I'm going to see if there's a way to clear the codes without using a scanner for the overhead console. Just give me a minute here. Okay, so apparently there is a procedure for reading the codes and resetting them. So I don't know. This is for the automatic climate control system where I don't have an error though. I don't think that'll reset an error on the overhead console. But let's try it. System in auto. Press and hold rest and charcoal filter button for more than 5 seconds. So rest and charcoal filter for 5 seconds. Searching. Showing error code. Use the right increase or decrease temperature button to scroll up and down the fault codes. Okay, let's see what we got. none, because we don't have an error on the climate control. But if you did have an error and you went to the error, what you do is pop the left auto button out, pop the right one out, left one in, right one in. Error is deleted. Put the right one in, you put your left foot out. Anyways, that's how you would clear an error on the climate control panel. But I am guessing if we went into our scan tool for the overhead console, there would still be an error there. So let's try it out. This is a separate module. Yeah, did not clear that one. So let's just erase these. So it looks like you may need a scan tool to clear them out of the top one, or you could disconnect your battery for 5 minutes, but I don't want to do that. SR not normalized. Oh, that's the sunroof. Okay, that doesn't matter. And one more check in the air conditioning unit. We should have no errors in here. We do not. Okay. Now we're just going to pop the console back in because everything is working. And yeah. And that simply just pops back up. And then we'll put our lenses back in. Congratulations! We just fixed our multi-$100 console replacement with about $1's worth of electronics and a little bit of soldering. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I know I did. And if you did, please consider liking and subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here doing this. And well, have yourself a fantastic day. Ciao for now.